Melissa, welcome to Scotland. That was a huge move. How did it first come about?
Well, I think it's a massive move. Took us 30 hours to get here, and I think, my journey as a career has leading me towards being a head coach, and this opportunity came up, and why not jump at it? Who wouldn't want to coach this team? The Scottish have a great history, and I'm super honoured to be a part of it and to lead this great team.
How big was your decision to move across the world for this job?
It's a big decision when you're asking your family to relocate, and that's what we're doing. We want to immerse ourselves in the Scottish culture and really get to know everything about it, and I think to really understand where football's at and take it to where we want it to go. It's being here on the ground, and it was tough at the start, but it was easy once I got to know the people and know what the project was all about, and we're just excited now to be here. It's day 2 here at Hampden, and I'm loving it.
What has the brief been in terms of immediate and long-term targets?
Yeah, it's all been about major tournament qualification. It's been about our talent pathways and continuing to expose our young players, which, mind you, Mick's been doing a great job at doing already, exposing them to international football, investing in the talent pathway, understanding and being visible, being at the games in the local league as well, which I was at the Hibs Hearts game on the weekend too, so that was fantastic to get a taste of that. So everything's about growing the game and matching that with performance at major tournaments as well.
Just in terms of you coming into this job, how aware were you of the players in the squad before you came in? How much work have you been doing? I know so it's only day 2, but what have you been doing? Have you been looking at previous games? And kind of what do you make of the squad that you're going to have at your disposal straight away?
Yeah, I've been doing all those things you've mentioned. So I've been watching previous games. Obviously, I'm familiar with the players because in my previous role, I was exposed to them as well. We played Scotland when I was with the Australian team as well. So I know of the players and watching the games myself. I'm still working through that process. It's early days, but I'll be diving into that deeply in the coming days to make sure I have a good grasp of things ahead of the next window.
What do you see initially, even from afar, as the strengths of this Scotland squad, and where's the room for improvement, do you feel?
Yeah, I think, the centre of the park is a strength for the Scottish, the midfield. When we talk about players there, I think the experience and the level that we see players playing at Clubland is high. And I think the next step too is to convert what we create into goals and real clear-cut chances. And that'll be something in the short term we look to work on. But these things take time as well. It's a process, and I'll be doing everything with my staff in order to support the team to progress towards a performance that we want to see from the team in the next window.
Sorry, just one more. A lot of Scottish fans might not have seen your work before. So, first of all, what's your message to the Scotland fans, and what kind of team do you want to see? What kind of football are you going to bring to the National Stadium here?
Well, to the fans, I say come and watch us play and come support this team, because they're a team that play with such passion and have such pride. And they're a team that want to play good football, entertaining, exciting football from what I've seen. And that includes an attacking brand. And that's not just with the ball, that's without the ball as well, that we're aggressive, attacking in our mindset, forward first, with everything we're doing with our thinking to play that kind of football.
So are you confident you can take Scotland back to a major tournament?
I'm confident in the process and the progress that we can make towards qualifying for a major tournament with the players and the experience that we have. I think anything's possible with this group with time.
Yeah, what sort of potential, Jim, in terms of the talent Scotland has?
What was that, sorry?
In terms of the potential of this squad, what do you think the potential of this squad is?
I think we've seen some great potential in the last couple of windows with emerging players being exposed to match minutes. I think that's a shining light for the future of this program. And I think extending the playing time of the experienced players is important too. And if we can align that at the same time with players that are fit, available and informed, then I think the potential of this program is high.
Why now for you, Melissa, to take on a head coach role in itself for you? Why now?
Why now? That's a great question. I think because the opportunity came up with a country that has values that I really align with: hardworking, no nonsense, straight talking, humble, honest. And I'm all about that as well. And you know, some things just turn up when they do, and this opportunity is one of those. It arose, and I went for it, and I'm so honoured to have been, you know, given the opportunity to lead the team, and I'm going to take it with both hands and run with it.
This group is often referred to as something of a golden generation. You've just left an Australia side that are pretty similar, that they've been in their peak for a few years. I think it's fair to say Scotland have underperformed with that generation. How do you make sure that they can be where they need to be and where they think that they should be?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and it's a multiple range of factors that leads to that high performance at the highest level under the highest amount of pressure. I think part of that is really getting to know the players and understanding what it is we need to do in order to perform at that level, and what we do in training is a part of that. What we do between camps with clubs, playing consistently, being fit and available is important as well. And then we get that on the same page at the same time. I think you're a higher chance of being successful.
You're taking on a group that are a little bit battered and bruised, particularly after that last result against Germany over in Germany. How do you pick them up, and how do you plan to do that?
Well, I think, you know, we can look at how we've performed in the past, you know, in February against this opposition, and I think against Austria, we have every right to come in with confidence, to bounce back and really take this game on, and know that if we get everything right with our preparation, we're available, we're fit, our mentality is right, that we can, you know, get a result and put in more importantly, a good performance that we know in the future will put us in good stead at major tournaments.
Just finally, you mentioned earlier McArdle, the work that he previously done. What's the sort of makeup of your backroom team? Have you thought about that? Are you going to dip into some of the coaches that have already been here? What's your plans there?
Yeah, we've had those discussions, initial discussions, and of course I've got to lean on this fantastic staff that are in the back room already, and that's the plan for sure. And I need to have that relationship in order to get the most out of everyone in the program, and that's definitely part of the plan.
Who did you speak to before taking the job?
Who did I speak to?
Pedro Martinez. Looks like, did you speak to him? Did you speak to anyone in Scotland about it? I
actually spoke to a few Australians. Tom Samani is the interim head coach, so I spoke a lot to him. Ernie Merrick is another Scotsman in Australia who I spoke to as well about Scotland and his knowledge and history about football as well. And obviously from my own experience playing the Scottish women's national team back in 2023, went back and watched that game, and I still remember when we're singing the anthems, that feeling, and then the feeling after the game as well. So that's the background research that I've done at this stage, and I'm happy with it, and getting to know all the staff here as well. There's been lots of conversations in the lead up to my arrival on Monday, so there's been a fair bit of backroom work as well.
So the Scottish Football Association recently took the decision to ban trans women playing in women's competitive football. Do you support that decision?
I've arrived here on day 2, and for that situation, I think it's really important that the Scottish FA deal with it, address it. But for right now, for where I am, what I want to talk about is this great national team and what we're setting out to do in our football performance on the pitch.
Yeah, hi, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Can I just ask you what your expectations are of this squad?
Yeah, I think the expectations of everyone within the squad are high. They set high standards for themselves, and I want to match that and support them to achieve that. And they've spoken publicly about wanting to play at the highest level, compete at major tournaments, and that's what the staff and myself will continue to work towards supporting them to achieve.
You're obviously coming into this job on the back of a very high profile, a very commercially successful World Cup that was held in Australia and New Zealand, and a fantastic tournament obviously for the Matildas. But do you see this Scotland team as having players who are ready to compete at that elite level?
Yeah, I think that's a great question, and I think we do. I mean, we have some of the players in our squad who are already competing at the highest level in Champions League and in top leagues around the world. So I think we definitely have players that are capable of competing at the highest level. And as I said earlier, there's so many different factors that have to come together at the sound of that whistle at kick-off in order for the performance to play out the way that we want to achieve the result that we all desire. And that's what we're going to be working towards and hope for in the coming months.
You would have seen the growth of that Australian squad, and maybe how much is a belief as big a part of it? We can go and compete at that level as it is anything else, and you know, taking into account talent and ability, that there has to be a mental aspect to get into that level again.
Yeah, belief is a big part of it, and there's something special also about playing these games at home in front of your friends and family that gives you that extra lift as well. So having that support matched with the belief in what you're doing and what you want to do, I think leads to something special, and I've experienced it, and I think we can recreate that here as well.
And in terms of, you mentioned that it was quite a tough decision initially when we were approached for the role, but how hard a sell was it to go back to your family and say, listen, we're going to go halfway around the world and it's really cold and it rains?
Everyone keeps telling me it's really cold and don't bank on this weather staying around, but I'm an optimist, and I think it might hang around. Well, I'll say that today anyway. It wasn't a hard sell, to be honest. I think, you know, my family knows what I'm very passionate about and what I've, you know, dreamt of, you know, for a long time in my football career, and that's to be a head coach. And when I learnt more about the program and more importantly the people within the program, I just fell in love with it, and I said, I really want to do this. I know it's a big ask to go across the other side of the world, but we've got a great support network around us. Parents have travelled with us, so we're making a real go of it, and we've loved it. The first week or so has been fantastic while we've gotten over the jet lag and got to see a bit of the countryside and have some of the local food as well. So it wasn't a hard sell, let's just say that in the end.
What was that local food? I'm intrigued.
I had haggis, so I love that. I had Cullen skink. I'm a big fan of the soup, big time. That might be odd. I've had the square sausage, and let's say I've had a pint or two.
An iron brew.
Yeah, I've got the iron brew at home, so I'll have that, the full sugar version, right? Yeah.
And just finally, from me, like we've spoken about this squad getting back to a major tournament, what would it mean to you to go and manage at that level?
That's a great question. I think at this level, whether you're a player or a coach, you want to mix it with the best. You want to be at the highest level. And I think of that 12-year-old Mel who dreamt of being a gold medalist at Olympic Games. You know, I think that's the same thing to me. Being at the highest level, competing against the best on the world stage is things that dreams are made of, and it would be an honour, a privilege, a dream come true for me as well, but more importantly for a group of players who have been working hard at this for many years, some just starting out on their journey as well, and it would be super special for them. And that's what I'm all about, supporting a group of people with this one goal to all get on the same page, aligned behind it and going for it, and I hope we can do that for you.
Melissa, you mentioned the national anthem. Have you learned the words to Flower of Scotland yet?
I have. I had the hairs on the back of my neck stood up when I watched it. It was actually the Men's Rugby World Cup and the bagpipe on the stadium roof. Oh my God, beautiful. So it was that, and then I went back and watched our game as well, and I watched, you know, our footage of it, and it's special, and the words are powerful, and I think Australians and Scottish, we might have a bit of commonality there about, you know, the English foe. So, yeah. I know the words.